All right, welcome back to episode 134 of Two Drunk Brothers in a Podcast, presented by the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. And if you're watching us for the first time on YouTube, congrats. We are now putting all of our episodes on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening, like what the fuck? Yeah, we got a YouTube now. We've had a YouTube, but now we're going to start uploading our episodes every single week to there through this cool thing that we do called StreamYard. So yeah, if you're watching us for the first,
I can't record naked anymore.
Yeah, no more naked recording sessions. But we, like I said, this is episode 134. We are going to talk about all things NFL Week 2, talk about Week 3, and also there's a big UFC card this weekend. UFC 266 takes place, so we'll talk about that. But first and foremost, let's hit the business side of things. The Patreon or gambling plays. We're figuring it out on football. We're getting there.
Sort of.
We're getting there. We are really the player props have been killing us on the NFL, but MLB is where it's at. Really, since in 2021, we are 237, 165, which is a 59% hit rate, and we're up 61.08 units in the 2021 season. Just to put that in a reference. Yeah, put that in a reference for you guys. A $20 better is up $1,221.60.
Especially because I'm pretty sure we were down like an astronomical amount of units last year. So just the fact that we made that leap from what is this, year 2 to year 3? So year 3 of the podcast. So
so we're getting better. So sub to the Patreon. There's only a couple weeks left in the MLB season, but maximize on that value, maximize on ROI. A $10 sub gets you access to all of that. And other things like our UFC cards that we are going to have a full write-up on UFC that's going to come out this Saturday. Like I said, NFL and college football, we're getting there. NFL, we're going to lay off the player props. That's really been killing us. We're 37, 41, and 1 in the NFL. Player props have been killer. College, we're 33, 35, and 1, and only barely down like not even a quarter unit in college football. So we're going to figure those out.
Yeah, and it's like Jared said, most expensive one's $10. It's not like we're paying our house payment with these monthly fees. It's more of if you saw our tweet today, like a convenience fee. Basically, for our time doing the research, writing it up, putting it out there for you guys, it makes up for that. We're not getting rich off these.
Absolutely. So that's kind of the business point. We don't want to plug it too hard, but if you want to win a few bucks here and there and tail our picks with us and get full write-ups, and I've thought about doing this. I may make one of our articles for this weekend free to people and put it on Twitter just so you can kind of see the types of analysis you'll get because it's pretty in depth. I mean, the picks it's not like we just throw out a handful of picks and said, "Hey, here's our picks."
Sometimes I have to do that for baseball.
Sometimes for baseball because they're daily.
If you've been following baseball plays, you should know. Like on Sunday, I just threw them out and we went 7-1. So it's
but for football and UFC, like we always do full blown write ups for them. So futures, anything like that. So definitely check it out. I may make a few articles free. But real quick, week 2 of the NFL. What did we learn? What is our reactions to week 2? Are the Saints is 2019 Jameis Winston back? Is Zach Wilson a draft bust? I mean, 4 picks is not great.
It's tough because you make your overreactions from week 1 to week 2, and then some of them are completely opposite. So it's like, what way is it going to go? Week 3 is really, we're going to learn a whole lot of things in week 3.
I feel like that as well. I mean, some teams that have really impressed me that we were completely wrong on, and I'll go ahead and own up to it right now, are the Panthers and the Raiders. I'll go ahead and own up to that right now.
I would say let's hold the brakes on the Raiders for right now. On like the hype,
but the Panthers we were wrong on.
Again, though, let's hold the hype on them until they play some real opponents. They've played. They just played the Saints, but then again, week 2 of the Saints, we didn't know how they were going to be. Let's have them have a few quality opponents because this week they're playing a basically third string quarterback.
Well, Vegas has Vegas as the favorites against the Miami Dolphins this weekend in Vegas. I think they're
may not have their starting quarterback either.
Yeah. So the Raiders. I mean, but those are 2 teams that I did not expect to be 2-0. Let's just put it that way.
I do agree with you there. Another team that's surprising I guess really none. Outside of that, like I can't think of any.
I will say you hit the nail on the head on the Colts. Now, while the Colts have been competitive, they are 0-2. You had them as one of your bottom 5 teams in the AFC this year. Don't know if they'll reach that level of mediocrity. Carson Wentz is getting banged up though
Oh, he's got two
every
sprained
single
ankles.
week. Every single week he's getting banged up.
I don't know how one sprains both of his ankles in one play, but that happened to Carson Wentz over the weekend.
Yeah, and then Joe Burrow may not be an NFL quarterback. I mean, we'll just go ahead and say it. You can't throw 3 picks on 3 straight possessions or 3 straight attempts. Sorry, not 3 straight possessions. 3
Boy,
straight
was
attempts.
I right about him. I mean, he is just not great cotton, to say the least.
Yeah.
I was heading in a direction. Oh, the Texans. The Texans would be maybe 2-0, possibly looking at 3-0 if Tyrod Taylor stayed healthy.
If Deshaun Watson didn't have all those allegations against him, they're probably a 3-0 team, like you said.
It's kind of stupid that, like, okay, I get it, I'm all for morals, but it's not like he's suspended, so they're basically doing it to themselves.
Yeah, that is true.
You're paying the guy, you might as well play him.
Yeah, so Tyrod Taylor did look amazing. It sucks he got hurt. As soon as I saw him pull up on that touchdown run, that he had that.
But then he came back out, but he hurt it again.
Yeah, like when you see somebody pull up like that, you're like, man, that doesn't look great.
Well, he really sold it off because he like knelt in the end zone. I thought he was just being like super humble about the touchdown run.
Yeah,
because if they had a healthy Tyrod Taylor this week, I would hammer them against the Panthers just to try to be right.
I don't think they would be 7.5 point favorites.
I think it'd be like 3.5.
Yeah, it's at 8 now, which you guys can see across the ticker if you're watching on YouTube. So it's tough. The Vikings Eagles do look good. Vikings can still never find a kicker. They're going to have kicking woes for forever.
Gosh, man, Blair Walsh, he did it to him. He ruined the Vikings forever.
Yeah, Greg Joseph. I mean, that was the most makeable field goal I think I've ever seen in terms of like a game winner.
Especially because he made a huge one right before halftime. He made a 52-yarder right before halftime.
Yeah. So, I mean, but yeah, like I said, the Eagles do look good. They have a big Monday night game coming up. I think that game will be fun. You got Eagles at the Cowboys on Monday Night Football this week. We'll talk about it.
Tough.
It's a tough one. We'll talk about it in Degenerate Digest. You can see it across the ticker. Cowboys are 4-point favorites at home. Over under, I think, is 52. So we'll try to lean aside there for Monday Night Football. So week 2, I mean, you learned a lot. The Chiefs.
You know what makes me mad is that Chiefs fans weren't mad about that.
Well, why would they be?
You got to be so mad about that.
I wouldn't be. I don't see Super Bowls aren't won in September, man.
No, but I don't know. It's definitely cause for concern.
So the cause for concern is I saw a tweet that they have their opposing offenses have had 8 red zone possessions against the Chiefs, and all 8 of them have resulted in a touchdown. So they are 0 for 8 in red zone defenses and let up 8 touchdowns.
Well, their linebackers are horrendous. Just absolutely horrible. You can do whatever you want to them. Every single rush you have against them is getting into that second zone because no linebackers are filling the gaps. They're all sitting back lazy. Saw many plays where rookie Mizzou alum Nick Bolton sat back and just waited for the ball to come to him. Which is not very Nick Bolton-like of what we saw at Mizzou, but horrible.
Yeah, I don't disagree there. Somebody else that I think is worth talking about is Justin Herbert. He may not be as good as we thought he was. He didn't look great week 1 against the Washington football team, even though they got a win. Last week, the Cowboys held him to 17 points, and Micah Parsons made him his bitch. Like,
you're picking the end zone.
Yeah.
And then, the other one, I don't know. That game was just full of flags.
It was, and that's something else I want to talk about. Refs have to eat some of these things, man. I mean, we've talked about it. I think it's a yearly discussion at this point. Refs needing to swallow flags, especially the taunting and the unsportsmanlike conduct stuff they're doing this year. Like, one dude got up and did the incompletion sign, and he got a flag from him. I'm like, dude, DBs have been doing that since the 80s. Like, come on.
And those are automatic first downs, so it's just, that hits hard. If you if you get a sack on 3rd and 10, and it's going to be 4th and 15, give them the 5, 10 yards or whatever. Not even 10, 5 yards. Still make them punt, but automatic first down. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the flags in that game, like the illegal shifts and all that nonsense that goes on. Like let's cut back some of that.
I agree. The defending Super Bowl champions look to be clicking on all cylinders on offense. Put up 48 points on Sunday against the Falcons. I mean,
the
they're
same
just
guy had 2 pick sixes in back-to-back possessions. I thought it was a glitch that ESPN had. He had 2 pick sixes within like 3 minutes.
Yeah. So the Bucks are be scary. Great game this weekend. They go to LA to play the Rams. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. I have that in Degenerate's Digest for you, but that'll be a big game. So week 2, we learned a lot.
Here's what else I learned too. I was thinking about this on my way to work today. If Steelers don't turn their offense around within the next 2 weeks, stick a fork in them. They look horrible. Big Ben looks awful.
They look bad. Najee Harris can't get going. Yeah, I don't know what that is there. So I kind of want to do something this week before we roll into Degenerates Digest. Week 3, I'm looking at the schedule right now. Just not gambling wise, what are some games you're looking forward to this weekend?
Some games I'm looking forward to.
Obviously Bucks Rams. That's a big one. That's a 3:25 game on Sunday. That'll be fun to watch.
Not only games I'm looking forward to, but games that I'm looking for. Like, are you going to show me that you're going to be competitive, or show me that you've been a fluke? Call me crazy, but Cardinals Jaguars. Definitely, it's a big one for Trevor Lawrence.
It's a big one for Trevor Lawrence. I think it's also big.
Go ahead.
I would say it's a big one for the Cardinals too, because they should go there and bury them. Like they should put them away.
Buried the Vikings at home,
and they couldn't.
So if they can't do it to the Jaguars, it's like even if they beat them and they're 3-0, calls crazy, but it could be one where it's like the Cardinals would be a very overrated 3-0 team.
There's another 3-0 team that I think will be very overrated after the end of the weekend, week 3. It's going to be the Denver Broncos, Giants, Jags, and Jets. That's just so easy. I think they're going to be way overhyped. I do think they get the job done this weekend. Spoiler alert, I don't think they cover the spread against the Jets. They're not in my picks on Degenerates Digest. They're 10.5-point favorites. Would not be surprised if that creeps up to 11 by Sunday. I would take the Jets on that one, but that's just my 2 cents. Another game I think it'll be fun. I like your pick there, Cardinals and Jags, because they travel to Jacksonville. I'm interested to see how the Bills respond. Yes, they just came on the road. They beat Miami 35-0. That game was a lot closer than what it looked in the scoreboard on the scoreboard, I think. But Washington football team, like, are they going to be able to contain Taylor Heineke in that offense? I think that's an interesting game to watch out for too. That's at noon on Sunday.
Okay.
Packers and Niners too, yeah.
Packers, Niners. Yeah, but that's a primetime game, so everyone will be watching that. I have 2. I have one that's I'm going to kind of throw like a small little hot take in there. I have another one. Chargers, Chiefs. We were talking about Justin Herbert and then on the other end, we were talking about how vulnerable the Chiefs defense is. If he cannot come out and make this game competitive and very close, I get it's on the road, but the Chiefs defense legitimately looks horrible. That would be kind of a cause for some concern for Chargers fans going 1-2. Herbert not looking great against a bad defense in week 3. So that'll be a big one to look out for. That's a noon game on Sunday.
And what's the other one?
My other one is the Ravens and the Lions. We've seen the Lions have some sneaky close games. I know they're 0-2, but their offense can move the ball. If they could get a couple stops for Lamar Jackson, I think they could cover. If not, call me crazy, at home, win this game.
Yeah, I also like the over a lot in that game as well. It's super low. I think it's like 48 or 49. I like
and then
that
just
over.
Hammer TJ Hawkinson's everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's been money. So you're getting a little bit of sneak peeks because like those aren't on my Degenerates Digest, but
not mine either.
So yeah, there's some big matchups in week 3. Another one I'm looking at right here that we didn't really talk about: Colts at Titans. Colts lose that game, they're going to 0-3, and you can pretty much kiss the playoffs goodbye.
Oh, they're losing that game for sure.
I know 0-2 teams. I think it's like I heard a stat on Sunday. 0-2 teams are like have an 8% chance to make the playoffs. If you go to 0-3, the last 0-3 team to make the playoffs was the 2016 Dolphins. So take that with what you will with a grain of salt. Yeah. So
yikes. We have a lot, but there's a lot. This week should be good. Not only that, but it'll allow us to kind of hone in on bets moving forward. Just seeing what we get out of week 3. So
and the Fins play at 3:05 on Sunday, so we get to watch a shitload of noon games.
Yeah. So hang with us with this. May not be perfect clean sweep, great week 3, but after this week, lock it in.
Absolutely. Lock it up. So we're going to move into Degenerate's Digest right now. So let's cue the little segment music and get to Degenerate's Digest.
Extra! Please grab young fella! Extra, extra! Read all about it! Life story of Playboy Penny!
All right. Degenerate's Digest going on right now. You know the routine. Thursday night football. For those of you who watch us on YouTube for the first time, we give you the picks for all the primetime NFL games Thursday, Sunday, Monday night. We give you a lock of the week, which could be college or NFL, and upset of the week, which would be college or NFL. And then we also throw a few college picks in there as well, if they're not our lock or upset of the week. So let's kick it off with Thursday night football. We're going to talk about it. You can see on the bottom ticker right here, Panthers at the Texans. Panthers are 8-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. And the Texans are starting pretty much what is a third-string quarterback. I'm not in love with the 8-point spread here. I will say that.
I mean, I don't love it, but I'm going to take it for sure. There's no other bet that I like. Got to take it. Davis Mills came in last week against the Browns after Tyrod Taylor was 10 of 11, 125 yards, touchdown. He had a 15-yard rushing touchdown. And then Davis Mills into the game. 8 of 18, 102 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 2 rushes for -1 yards. Not even close, not even scratching the surface to what Tyrod Taylor does. And then you just combine the fact that, the Panthers are doing what they've been doing. I get it's in Houston, but at this point, it's like, does Houston even have any fans? They're in shambles right now. Not to mention, totally forgot to talk about this on the intro. Houston's head coach punting on 4th and 2 after taking that penalty. Did you see that?
Oh, dude, Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland's head coach, was bewildered that he did that.
I'm just like, that's the choice you went for. You could either go for it again on 3rd and 10, decline the penalty, or accept the penalty, have 4th and 2, and then you just punt away.
It would have made sense if you would have accepted the penalty and gone for it on 4th and 2.
Yeah, or decline the penalty, and you're just like, whatever, 3rd and 10. I don't know. Regardless of the fact, I feel like they're just a big old ball of confusion. They don't know what's going on. Davis Mills, quarterback at Stanford, right? I think it's Stanford.
Yes, so Stanford, yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to be anything what Andrew Luck was, obviously. And everyone's talking about the kind of like I was listening to Pardon My Take, like the good luck Chuck thing with Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
like he always gives way to the next franchise quarterback
because it was
Justin Herbert
in LA. It was in Cleveland. It was Baker. In Buffalo, it was Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's you have Tyrod Taylor starting your team for 1 year. He's going to lead you to your next great quarterback. It's not going to be Davis Mills.
I really don't think so.
Tyrod will be back this year. There's no way about it. He's not going to be out the rest of the year. So
yeah, absolutely not. So Davis Mills, just the fact that he looked horrible, and the Texans, quite honestly, just aren't a good team.
Real quick check. So you got Panthers -8, 1-2 units. What are you doing on it?
I'm just gonna do one
unit on Panthers -8. I want to put you on the spot here, and all of our followers and listeners can try to play this game with me with us as well. Where did Tyrod Taylor go to college?
Let me ask a question. Was it Power 5?
It was Power 5.
Hang on, put me on a clock. Give me 15 seconds.
All right, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Utah.
3. Ooh, I love the guess there. I love this. Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech.
That very Michael Vick-esque.
Yeah, that's like literally like he's like Michael Vick. I just thought that was funny.
He was probably right behind him.
No, I don't know. I don't know the exact time frame there.
Tyrod Taylor's pretty old.
Yeah, he wasn't right behind. Michael Vick was playing in the NFL in 2004, so I don't think he was right behind him. So
Close enough to where he was probably watching him growing up, though.
Yeah, he like Tyrod Taylor's from Virginia, so I just thought that'd be fun. I might do that from now off a lot more.
Yeah.
So Travis likes the Panthers -8 on Thursday night. I'm gonna do a little bit of an in-game teaser. Spoiler alert: this is not the only one of these I do on tonight's Degenerates Digest. My in-game 7-point teaser for this game. I liked it at 6.5 before the line moved to 8 because it was at 7.5 this morning, so it's at 8 now. I like Panthers. It's a 7-point teaser to make it Panthers -1 in the under of 50.5. I'm going to do 2 units on it. So like Travis said, Davis Mills is starting at quarterback. I don't think the Houston Texans put up more than 10 points. I really don't, because the Panthers defense is best in the league so far. I know it's only 2 weeks, but best in the league so far at yards allowed per game. They're allowing 190 yards per game. Allowing under 200 yards a game in the NFL through 2 games is pretty impressive. I think it's going to be a slaughter. I think the Panthers will lay up. It'll be a lot of running the clock in the second half.
It's going to be a slaughter. Why wouldn't you just feel more comfortable at -8?
Because those backdoor covers, anything over a touchdown spread scares the living shit out of me. That's why I didn't do Packers last night. That's why I'm staying away from. I love the Bills this weekend, but I'm not going to put them on here because that 8-9 point spread just scares me for some reason. I don't know.
Not only backdoor. I know this isn't going to help your bet, but not only backdoor covers, but backdoor covers and then the team losing hurt us a lot this week. Chiefs for one. Marshall, that was a bad one. 17 points in the fourth quarter. Miami Dolphins lost the game. But I don't hate it. It just over-unders scare me this early because you never know what could happen. But
I feel like we're getting a lot of data on over-unders, and I have quite a few of them this week. So,
alrighty, don't mind it. Next, what do we got on tap? Sunday night game. Got Packers at Niners. This is gonna tell a lot. Niners -3.5. Over/under 49.5.
Yes.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't play good in California.
He doesn't. I'm glad you looked that up too. He is 4-6 in San Francisco. That's where he's from. He grew up a Niners fan. He is actually 1-4 at Levi Stadium in his career. So
yeah, I know that he just does not play well at California. Long time guest Ethan Short, Packers fan. Very weary of whenever they travel to San Francisco.
Yeah, so they traveled there twice in 2019, obviously during the regular season, and once again for the NFC Championship game. They lost those games 37-8 and 37-20 respectively. So,
if we're going with numbers, that's hard to stay away from right there.
But are the Niners the same team they were back then in 2019?
So the Niners could figure out what they're doing on offense. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's like a relationship issue, but George Kittle is not getting near enough targets.
He's not, and maybe just defense is keen on him and opening it up for guys like Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel's over on yards been a near lock the last few weeks. So
that's what I was leaning towards. Like, I hate to do it again because the line's not out yet, like I did for Monday night. But I did put it out for the pick, and it did win. I am leaning towards Deebo Samuel's over on receptions or yards, whichever one obviously lines up more, or both, like I did with TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm leaning towards on my.
Okay, so TBD over on either receptions or yards for Deebo Samuel for Travis. I'm actually going to go with the over of 49.5 here. Seems like a really low over, especially for a Green Bay defense that literally can't stop a damn thing right now.
They're horrible.
So the Saints lit them up. Jameis Winston, the Saints lit them up, and then we went and saw what Jameis Winston and the Saints did against Carolina last week, put up 7 points. And then they were losing at halftime to the Lions. They were down. They let up 17 points in the first half to the Lions. I hate to break it to you guys, but this Niners offense, even if they're not involving George Kittle, is much better than the Lions, or the Saints on any given day. And always Rodgers is going to put up points, I think. I think the Niners defense is suspect as well. I know they only let up 11 last week to the Eagles, but again, it's the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. So what can we really expect there? So I like the over 49.5 at 1 unit there.
All right. I don't mind that. Looked at it, took a peek, could end up going with Deebo Samuel's prop instead, which obviously I'll take that. And then they'll end up going to George Kittle all night long.
Probably so.
Probably. Monday night, Eagles at Cowboys, game we mentioned earlier. Cowboys are 4-point favorites, and the over-under is 52.
Yeah, I'll make this one short. I like the under. I like the under 52 at 1 unit. I hate everything about this 4-point spread. It just screams to me that
I don't like it either way because of how I talked about earlier, how the Eagles have been kind of a surprise team to me.
Yeah. And then also the Eagles come in and get blown out, or the Cowboys can win by 2. Like I don't know how to lean here. 4-point spreads have really screwed us time and time again. However, here's something I did find as like a little nugget. Unders in Eagles games this year are 2-0, and there are the total points in Eagles games are missing the over by an average of 15.2 points. So it means wherever Vegas sets the line at, they're averaging missing it by 15 points. Dallas unders are 1-1, but they're still missing the over-under by an average of 5.2 points. So 52 seems awfully high for two teams that are missing the over by that much. I think the Dallas defense is stepping it up. I think Philly's defense is not as bad as we originally thought. Dallas seemed to go with a very run-heavy approach last week. I think they do the same thing this week and try to just control time possession and grind out the clock. Because this is a big game. I mean, both teams are 1-1. Winner of this game is going to be in first place in the NFC East. I know it's early, but that's super big. So under 52, 1 unit for me.
Okay. I got another one that's not necessarily TBD. It's one I'm going to lock in. I just don't know the exact number on yet. And it's going to be over on Dak Prescott's completions.
Yep.
He is 65 of 85 through 2 games. So figure that out. On average, about 42.5 attempts per game, about 32.5 completions, which is very high. Usually completions are set right around the mid-20s, and that's obviously given for even teams that pass the ball a lot. So I'm good with that all the way up to like high 20s, 28 or so. But I'm going to go over on Dak Prescott's completions.
I like that pick. Like that a lot. So over on Dak Prescott completions, Travis is sprinkling some player props that I said we stay away from because we've been putting those out on the Patreon and they haven't been.
Hey, we got 2 that hit on Monday night for me.
We did. So that's going to roll us into our lock and upsets of the week. Let's do a lock of the week first, Travis. My lock is an NFL game. Is your lock an NFL game?
It's not.
So Travis's lock is a college game. So that's earlier on in the week. Travis, let's hit your lock of the week. What is your lock of the week?
Oh, man. It's one that could come back to bite me. But given the fact that we've been heavy on this team and we hate the team they're playing against, rolling with Michigan State -5. At home, they are ranked now 3-0, 20th in the nation, playing Nebraska, who's 2-2. I don't know, man. Michigan State, they rolled over Miami with ease in the game.
On the road.
In the game that they were underdogs. 38-17.
Who I called last week.
That was Jared's upset of the week. So that's a huge pick right there. Nebraska, don't get me wrong, they steamrolled Buffalo. They were competitive in the game against Oklahoma, but that's not enough to convince me of the fact that they still are just a horrible team.
I love that.
Don't think they're good enough.
So that is Travis's 3-unit lock of the week. I am also high on that game, and I have 2 units on it. So if you guys are real fun balls, you do a 5-unit play on Michigan State -5 because I think they're sneakily one of the best teams in college football. I think they will contend for the Big Ten this year. I think they could win the Big Ten this year. And the reason why is I'll tell you, Kenneth Walker III, their running back, is an absolute stud. He leads the nation in rushing yards by 70-plus yards already early in the year.
He's got 57 carries on 493 yards. Like that's a lot.
And Nebraska's allowing 4.4 yards per carry already on the year. So I think that
averaging 8.6.
yeah, I mean this dude is insane, and I think just them playing that on the road in Michigan, it's not going to be great for them. So love that pick. That was one of my college picks. I had it at 2 units. So love your lock of the week. My lock of the week is a little bit different. It's another in-game teaser.
Oh boy.
It is the Bucks and Rams game. I'm going to do a 6.5-point teaser. This line has moved all day. It started out at Bucks -1, then went to Rams -1. Now it's back to Bucks -1. So I'm doing a 6.5-point teaser to make it Bucks plus 5.5 and the over of 49 at 3 units. Points are going to be scored in this one. I wanted to do the straight up over in this game, but 55.5 was a lot. So like, you know what? I'll do a little in-game teaser because I think this would be a good game. It's going to be scored. The points are going to be scored. The Bucks secondary is banged up. The Rams have a deadly wide receiver core. We saw what Cooper Kupp did last week. Jesus Christ. And I honestly wanted to pick the Bucks straight up too, but I think this would be a close enough game to where that 5.5 points will save you. I think the Rams or the Bucks could win this thing. So that 5.5 points should save you. So 6.5-point teaser in the Bucks and Rams, Bucks plus 5.5 and the over of 49.
Giving out plenty of just tips this week. Not in my picks, obviously, because they're not. Well, it could be an upset depending on which way you swing. But I have the Bucks winning this game. So if you want to,
yeah, I like them. Well, they're not dogs right now. They're like -115 money line. So
right,
even that wouldn't be bad to take.
all
But
right. Upset of the week.
Is yours a college? Is yours a college or an NFL game?
Oh, I don't really like much. I don't like much NFL.
The NFL is tough this week. My upset's also a college game. It's a big one though. A big dog.
Okay.
It is.
Let's hear yours first.
Number 9, Clemson at North Carolina State, Saturday at 2:30. North Carolina State is a plus 290 money line underdog. I'm taking them.
I have written down that I plan on putting out this weekend the spread NC State plus 10.
I love the spread too. Like that'll undoubtedly be on our Patreon. So we're just giving you guys all types of nuggets today. But the money line is my upset of the week. I will play them plus 10 pretty heavily probably because they're at home. I feel like every year, Travis, we do like a few of these throughout, like not like every week, but a few of these throughout the season where we do like these big money line dogs. They pay off. 2 years ago for you is the Giants. Daniel Jones's first game, he was like a plus 250 dog. We took it. It hit. This is the one I feel confident. I feel comfortable with. Clemson has not looked good offensively this year, outside of a tune-up game against South Carolina State where they scored 49 points, but they put up 3 points versus Georgia and 14 versus Georgia Tech at home. My big thing with this pick is where it's being played at. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina, home game for NC State. I feel like the Wolfpack fans are going to be rabid. They're going to be crazy. I'm going to be all in the Wolfpack this weekend, and I think they get this one done. Plus 290 dogs.
I like it. It's definitely a game that's like, because I mean, I'm going to bet it regardless because I had it also on my picks. It's a game that smells like me, though, of like a Clemson coming out party that they just come out. We bet it. We're ready to watch it, and they just come out and roll. But hopefully that's not the case because I am also on that train as well. I have another mine's plus 200 underdog. College football, 6:00 game on Saturday night. It's a ranked team, and the ranked team is plus 200.
Arkansas?
It is Kansas State at Oklahoma State. Kansas State coming off a huge statement win. They beat Nevada 38-17, a team that me and Jared have been tailing quite a bit this year. They also have a big statement win against Stanford to open up the season. Their defense seems pretty legit. They allow only 280 yards per game. Meanwhile, when you flip the script on the other side of things, Oklahoma State beat Missouri State by 7 points at home to start. They beat Tulsa by 5 points at home. And then they beat Boise State by 1 point. So they have 3 victories.
I love this.
By a total of, 13 points.
Could be a big weekend on the college slate for us. I love that pick. I love that pick a lot.
And consensus pick right now, I'm not sure how much of these people actually bet it, but consensus pick has 72% of the public on ESPN is tailing Oklahoma State.
You know what we say a lot, you want to follow the opposite of public money, unless it's like an obvious pick. This one I feel like is not so obvious. You look into it a lot. You always want to fade the public money because that's where Vegas doesn't lose. Like they don't lose. So love that pick. 2 money line dogs, big value, plus 290, plus 200. You know what, Travis? I may be a little fucking crazy this weekend. I may do a little money line parlay with those 2 bad boys.
That'd be a big one. That would be pretty nice, I would have to say.
Yeah.
If you really want me to, I might be able to pull it up real quick.
Yeah, let's pull it up real quick. So
tell you guys what it is.
Travis gave a lock in the upset, both college. I gave you a lock NFL, upset in college. And Travis already took one of my college picks. I had 2 additional ones I wanted to give to you. One of them was Michigan State -5. I like that one. I'll roll my other one real quick while Travis is looking it up. My other college pick I like a lot that I'll give you guys is a 6:30 game on Saturday. West Virginia at number 4 Oklahoma. West Virginia is 16.5-point dogs, and I'm taking them. Oklahoma did not look good against Nebraska last weekend. They beat them by a touchdown. West Virginia beat number 15 ranked Virginia Tech last weekend pretty handily. They kind of let Virginia Tech back into the game. I just think that this is way too big of a spread. 16.5 is a lot of points, especially in an opening Big 12 game for these 2 teams. So I'm going to take the Mountaineers at plus 16.5 at 2 units in that one against Oklahoma.
All right. Don't mind that one. I can't find this Kansas State game.
Here I got it for you. Do you have a couple more college picks for us?
Yeah.
Go for it. What's your next one? Because I'm all out.
Oh, my next college pick. I have a slew of them. Let's see, which one do I really like that you haven't mentioned?
Give us 2 more that you like.
2 more. You're gonna hate my one, but it's one that I'm gonna absolutely go with.
Is it Mizzou?
It is Mizzou -2
on the road, dude. That's scary.
I don't care, and really I don't care because Boston College is 3-0, but they've beaten Temple, UMass, and Colgate, 3 non-football schools. Don't care about how much they beat them by. All of their numbers that they have across the board are skewed because they play teams that just really aren't very good. Mizzou came out, beat SEMO, rolled over them. Yeah, they had a competitive game versus Kentucky. I don't think Boston College is near the team of what Kentucky is, nor they have near the defense Kentucky has, and Mizzou was able to put up 28 points on them. So, do I think Boston College starts out 4-0 with a statement win against Mizzou? Absolutely not.
Don't hate that pick at all. It's an early game, 11 a.m. Mizzou -2 on the road. To be safe, you could also take a money line. I'm sure it's not terrible value there.
I have a couple other picks that I like. I could find 2 that I like more in my slate, but I really wanted to give that Mizzou one.
So you gave us the opposite 3 primetime NFL games. You gave us 3 additional college picks. I gave you guys 3 primetime games, all different bets. I gave you another lock in NFL, and I gave you 2 more college picks. So unless you have another one you really want to give, I think we can wrap up the Degenerate Digest. And if you guys want the rest, sub to the Patreon. By the way, Patreon sub for just NFL and college picks against the spread, that's $5. That's all it takes. So
I do have one I want to give.
Do another one because by the way, that Kansas State NC State moneyline parlay is plus 1,100.
Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. My other one that I want to give is Rutgers +20 at Michigan.
Why?
They're both 3-0. Rutgers, they're back. Their football program's all the way back. They've looked solid through and through. And Michigan, on the other hand, while they haven't looked bad, you got 2 3-0 teams, Big Ten rivalry going way back. 20 points is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot.
It is. I don't hate that. I like the big dogs. Kind of the same reason why I just picked West Virginia plus 16.5 against Oklahoma.
I have a lot. I was just throwing that out there. I have a couple others that I could roll with.
All right, let's not do a lot because we did a lot on Saturday and it did not fare out well for us. We had 17 picks on Saturday across 14 games. Wasn't one of our best days. We're going to try to limit that on the Patreon this week, maybe to like 10 to 12. So with that being said, that is Degenerate Digest, but we're going to give you a little bit of an extra little bit of spice on Degenerate's Digest this weekend because we have UFC 266. It's in Vegas, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's at the Apex.
Okay. There's no way it's at the Apex.
Is it not?
No, they would do it at
Nope,
T-Mobile.
it's at T-Mobile.
Yeah,
I
it's at
didn't know.
T-Mobile.
I didn't know. Sometimes they
Yeah.
do that shit.
Well, now that they can have fans back, they're doing it at T-Mobile. So it's
Yeah.
UFC 266.
I forgot there's two title fights on it too.
Two title fights in this card, like Travis just said. The main event is a featherweight title bout for the men, and the co-main is a women's flyweight title bout. So let's kick it off. Let's not bury the lead. Let's dive right into the main event.
The main first.
Okay, we'll start. We'll start with the.
You gotta lead this thing up.
Got a limit. So we're gonna go with the first fight on the main card. And by the way, guys, we do full blown analysis on the Patreon for UFC cards, not just the main card. We do if we find something we like on the prelims, early prelims, we put it on there. But we're talking about this right now. Women's flyweight title bout, first fight on the main card. Number one contender. And you're really looking at the winner of this fight fighting the winner of the co-main event, probably. You got number one contender Jessica Andrade at minus 280 versus number 5 Cynthia Calvillo. She's plus 225. Travis, what do you have in this one?
I don't like a betting side in this. I mean, I'll take a side to pick, but I don't like.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either.
It's tough to bet against Andrade, even though she's looked meh as of late. But then again, she's looked meh because she's faced Valentina, Rose, Wiley. Those are her last 3 losses in her last 5 fights. Then she beat Rose. She beat Caitlin Chookagian. It's just hard to bet against her, but I'm not taking minus 270. And I don't trust. Don't get me wrong, not trying to be sexist, but I don't trust taking over/under on women's fights.
No, I don't either. I don't like a betting side in this fight at all. I'm glad you said that because I feel like what we used to do on these things, we used to force a pick, and I did not force one here. I like Jessica Andrade to win. I like the Jessica Andrade Valentina rematch. Kind of showing my cards for a little bit later. But
I might put like a little bit on Andrade, but I wouldn't put a full unit. Maybe just something to win some.
Andrade would be a pick I'd throw in a parlay, probably.
But even then, there's really not a whole lot of picks I'd put in a parlay on this card.
Yeah, probably not. So, or maybe some stuff on the undercard to be like, because there's actually a lot of good fights on the undercard that we'll talk about on Patreon. But let's go into the second fight of the main card. A absolute fucking dog fight. This will be men's heavyweight bout. Number 4 ranked Curtis Blades. He is the favorite at minus 210, which seems heavy to me. Versus number 6 ranked Biggie Boy Rosenstruck at plus 245. I mean, why is that? Why are the odds the way they are there?
I don't know. And that's why I'm rolling with Biggie Boy at plus 260.
Yeah.
I have to. Curtis Blades got absolutely slept by Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
And it was ugly. It looked horrible. And before that, he hadn't really fought anyone that was crazy. Like Alexander Volkov kind of fading, Junior JDS fading. And then he comes out and fights a contender, and Lewis gets slept super fast. Meanwhile, Rosenstrike, he's looked pretty solid against some decent contenders. So I have to go with him just basically for value. But if this fight finds its way onto the canvas, it's over.
Yeah.
Those get sat on. He's got to finish him on his feet.
Yeah, Rosenstruck has to stay on his feet. But I like that.
11 of his 12 wins are from knockouts, so I'll take that. Coming off a knockout, I'll take Rosenstrike all day.
Yeah, the value's there. Travis said he had it plus 260. I saw it plus 245 via DraftKings. Wherever you can get it at, I like that value. Very small minimal play. We'll talk more about units and what you should bet on these fights on the Patreon.
UFC is a little bit different than the rest of them. Like I would bet on anyone up to minus 200. Anything over that, then you're kind of the juice is like meh. AKA why we didn't bet on Andrade, but a minus like 190 favorite is not bad juice to squeeze in UFC.
Kind of the same thing we do with pitching props for the MLB, but it's okay to take it up to minus 200, but past that it's like meh, whatever. Third fight of the main card. I'm sorry, rematch that is
like
200.
70.
It's insane. The rematch is So far in the making, it's not even crazy. These two didn't even fight in the UFC. They fought, and I think it's Strikeforce.
Oh, geez, I am way off. 18 years ago.
Yeah, 18 years
Or
ago.
17 years ago.
Yeah. The amount of UFC pay-per-view events that have been in between these two have been 209. So put that in perspective there.
They
It's
fought on UFC 47.
Yeah.
Back when they used to have like catch tags as like what they sold it. UFC 47, it's on. That's what
Really?
it wasn't like Lawler versus blah blah blah. Like they used like those little catchphrases.
Oh my God.
Like Robbie Lawler fought on UFC 37 and a half, as real as it gets. That's how corny this shit was back then.
Yeah, so Nick Diaz has been around for a while. It was in the UFC way back in like his first UFC fight was 2003. By the way, guys, it's a men's welterweight bout against Nick Diaz and Robbie Lawler, a rematch 17 years in the making. And the last fight when they fought, I believe it was unanimous decision for Nick Diaz,
knockout.
Correct? It was a knockout?
Yeah, the knockout.
Okay, so Nick Diaz knocked out Robbie Lawler. The odds are Nick Diaz is obviously going to be the dog because he hasn't fought since
they're even. They're like both minus 110 right now.
Well, in DraftKings, I pull all odds from DraftKings. DraftKings had Nick Diaz as plus 100. And
I mean, it's fluctuating. That's very close.
Robbie Lawler at minus 120. So I just want to throw a few things out here before we talk about the fight. Some things that were popular or going on in the world the last time Nick Diaz fought. So Nick Diaz, the last time he fought was January 2015, which really think about it, like, oh, it's not that long ago. Bullshit. Here in about 6 months, that'll be 7 years ago. That was a long time ago. Bruce Jenner changed to Caitlyn Jenner back in 2015.
I thought you meant back in 07. I was like, what?
No, in 2015, the last time Nick Diaz fought. Katy Perry crushed the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Probably one of the best halftime shows I've ever seen.
Yep.
American Sniper was the top movie at the box office during their last fight. And
good movie. I was watching it the other night.
Great. It is a good movie. And then Uptown Funk was the number one song in America the last time Nick Diaz fought.
Don't take me back.
So it's been a minute since Nick Diaz fought back in January 2015. Travis, how do you see this fight playing out? I think this is a very tough fight to pick.
It is a tough fight to pick. I am leaning with Nick Diaz just because.
Me too.
I mean, the Diaz brothers are awesome to root for. They just have no quit in them. Not to mention, like, throw out the fact that Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 6 years because those dudes fight when they're not fighting the UFC. I 100% believe it. Robbie Lawler, on the other hand, hasn't quit. He's lost 5 of his last 6, and the only one that he beat was Donald Cerrone, which everyone's beaten Donald Cerrone.
In 2017. 2017 was his last.
That was his last win. And then if you want to throw that one out, the last fight he won before that was in January of 2016 versus Carlos Condit for the belt.
And Carlos Condit was old at that point. Like Carlos
that was
Condit,
back before like anything really was happening in this division.
Yeah, so I like Nick Diaz as well, especially getting at plus odds or even odds like I saw on DraftKings today. I just think the time off might be doing, like, I think it might be time for Robbie Lawler to hang him up. If he loses this fight and has lost 5 in a row, it's time to call it quits, bro.
Like, and Nick Diaz was a little bit before our time when we got big in the UFC, so I'm not sure how good he is on the ground. I see he's 8-0 submission wins. Meanwhile, you look on the other side, Robbie Lawler in submissions 1-6. It's been submitted 6 times. So if Nick Diaz is smart at all and his camp, he's going to figure out a way to get this fight to the ground and just finish him there.
Yeah, I also watched one of the detail series with Daniel Cormier and body shots. He said Nick Diaz's body shots are like next level. I think that could be really a big factor, especially in an older fighter like Robbie Lawler who can't handle those body shots. I think that'll be the difference. So both like Nick Diaz, probably by knockout or submission, or at least getting it done inside distance. But take him, especially if he's
taking him straight up. You have value enough.
Yeah, minus 110, even odds wherever you can get him. I think that's value enough. So like that one a lot. This next one, hard to find some value. The co-main event, women's flyweight title bout. Valentina, the Bullet Shevchenko, she's obviously the champion, and minus 1250 favorite. Yes, I said that right. Minus 1250 versus number 3 ranked contender Lauren Murphy, who's plus 750. Obviously, you're not going to bet on this, who to win, who to lose. So did you find a side in this slant that you like to bet on?
What is, because I'm sure you have best fight odds pulled up. Do you not?
I actually have DraftKings.
Okay. Well, look up the value on this because I am not sure just looking at this because I wasn't even going to take a side. Obviously, Shevchenko is going to win.
Yeah.
What is Shevchenko by decision?
That is my pick. It's plus 240. And that's the best one to do right there.
Love it. She has 15 fights in her career. So let's just go based off of wins because we say she's going to win. She has 21 wins. 14 of those have been by finish. So just at the odds alone, a third of the time she's not finishing her for the title fight.
You said 14 of them have been by decision.
Or sorry, have been finished.
Haven't been finished.
14 have been finished.
Like they finished the fight. So when you say finish, you're to me.
sorry.
Yeah.
14 of them have ended early.
So why are you picking decision then?
Why am I picking decision? Because it's a title fight.
Okay, throwing out the fact that 14 have ended early does not help our case at all.
I mean, Lauren Murphy's never been finished.
That was my thing. She's all of her losses. Lauren Murphy have been by decision. She's never been finished. That was my big. You probably should have led with that next time.
It'd be different if like Valentina had all but 2 or 3 have been finishes, but especially if you're going to rewind her last 5 title defenses, 2 of them have went to decision. One against Jennifer Maia, who isn't very, powerful or dangerous at all, and the other one which is against Liz Carmucci, who's also not great. So I'll just take the juice here.
Yeah, I like that at all. So yeah, Shevchenko by decision is definitely the play here at plus 240. I looked at Shevchenko by knockout, but she doesn't have a lot of those. So I don't like that. That was minus 110. I like Shevchenko by decision here. I think Lauren Murphy doesn't go down without a fight. I think Shevchenko kind of plays it safe, to be honest with you. I really do. I don't think she wants to make a big mistake here and lose to Lauren Murphy. Now, if she was fighting somebody like Jessica Andrade, Thug Rose, whoever it may be, even Amanda Nunes, she might go out there and try to be a little aggressive. Not in this case. She's a champion for a reason. She's going to play like a champion.
All right. And now the moment everyone's been waiting for, the one that honestly I've been looking forward to this fight for
It's tough.
6 months. I love Brian Ortega. Huge Brian Ortega guy. Especially if you watched The Ultimate Fighter. That's a super good series. I think these guys up front don't have a lot against each other.
No, they don't. They like
down,
play.
But deep down, they really, honestly, I don't think like each other. I think they tried to keep it a little civil on camera. But deep down, I think they want to smash each other's heads in.
Yeah. So for those who know, it is a championship bout between the champion for the featherweight title. Champion is Alexander Volkanovski's minus 170 favorite via DraftKings, and versus the number 2 contender Brian Ortega. He's plus 150. T-City, baby. This is a tough one because these guys have pretty astounding records.
They really do. Brian Ortega's only loss came to Max Holloway, but it was doctor stoppage,
which is fair. It's fair. Max Holloway's a stud. I mean,
he was going to lose the fight. Don't get me wrong. He was getting not necessarily demolished, but a lot of punches were thrown in that fight. Doctor stoppage is his only loss. Meanwhile, you go on the other side. Volkanovski's lost 1 fight and it was back in 2013.
Yeah, never lost in the UFC. Yeah.
Undefeated in the UFC, but he had a fairly easy rise to fame in the UFC, if you look at it. The only names that are standing out to me, Darren Elkins, who, if you really want to consider that.
The damage, baby.
Chad Mendez, who, again, if you really want to consider that.
Depends on when you fought him.
18.
Chad Mendez was still good in 18, so
Aldo
that's a valid win.
And mid-19.
Valid win.
And then Max Holloway twice.
Both valid wins.
But he only had 1 finish in that time.
So I'm glad you said that.
Mendez.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I want you to say it because I feel like your pick's getting a lot more juicier than mine. I'm liking the over 4.5 rounds in this fight.
I,
It's minus
I, I
nine.
don't not like it, but taking over on 5 round fights just scare me. Like they make me almost want to hope for a boring fight.
Yeah, see, I'm not the case here. Like I probably won't put a ton of juice on it. Like you can read the full write up on Patreon. Over 4.5 rounds is my pick here. It's minus 140, but I hope someone gets knocked out. I want a good fight here, but that's just by looking at the stats, like you said. Neither of them have been finished outside of Ortega's doctor stoppage in the UFC. I just see them both playing this. I don't know. Then I can also see Ortega coming out with headhunting, and that could either play well for him or play bad for him. So I'm just going to keep it safe. Look at the stats. I'm going to go with the over 4.5 rounds. I do want Ortega to win this fight, though. I will be clear in saying that.
Okay, I'm glad you do. I'm gonna take Ortega, and it again. This is one we talked about with our guy Jason from Puck and Pigskin podcast, who we go on. Betting with your heart, and that's kind of what I'm gonna go with here because I love Brian Ortega, one of my favorite fighters. But for good measure, I mean, it's not a bad pick at all. Brian Ortega, and you said go head hunting. He only has 3 knockout wins of 15. Like he is a very methodical fighter. He has 7 submission wins, and he's really not a fighter who's going to take you down. He's good at finding workarounds from his back. He's really good off his back. He's just really good at finding a way to get you in a hold. Going to end the fight. So I think Ortega with the value plus 145, plus 150, depending on where you get it, it's worth the squeeze.
All right. There we go, guys. I love it. So we're not taking any side on the first fight. Men's heavyweight bout, we got some value there. We're taking Biggie Boy at plus 245. We're both taking Nick Diaz in the third fight of the night. Even money, minus 110, wherever you can get him. Both doing Valentina Shevchenko by decision at plus 240. Travis likes Ortega plus 150. I like the over 4.5 at minus 140. Got a lot of value here. Only 1 or 2 of those picks are like minus money. A lot of them are even or plus money. We'll do a full write-up on the UFC. I'm sure there'll be some other fights because there's some other big fights in this card that I want to mention real quick before we kind of wrap up the show here. Because I saw some when I was looking at the bet odds. I was like, wow, like these fights are on this card. Like this is crazy. So UFC 266 right here. Going to the UFC's website. On the prelims.
Mirad Vashvili and Marlon Moraes is the
Yes.
last prelim fight. That's a huge one.
Dan Hooker and Nasrat Haqparast. It's a big fight.
I'm not sure how much you know about Chris Dawkins, but I want to say he is the either retired police officer or firefighter.
Yes.
So that's a pretty cool one.
And then on the early prelims, you got Carl Roberson in a middleweight fight, who I think is a really good up and comer. That should be a fun one. So we'll have some write ups on some other fights in this one as well. But that is your episode for 134, week 3 NFL, week 4 college, UFC 266. A lot of betting going on. Subscribe to that Patreon. Like Travis says, more of a convenience fee. You bet some money. We're not losing you money. I mean, just put it that way. We're definitely cashing some tickets, especially on the MLB side of things. So
exactly, yeah. I mean, if you're following us on Twitter, gave out some free plays today on Twitter for the MLB. Just subscribe to the Patreon. They went 3-0.
I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed. New to YouTube, what's up? We'll see you guys next week.
Peace out, boys and girls.
And girls.